Let's ramble this out, ladies and gentlemen. Misery and loyalty in the North American showdown in the lower bracket, round 1 of the winter circuit. One of these teams will stay in the competition. The other one is saying goodbye tonight, and we are finding out if loyalty has a first good game on their killer side here. With the Oni on Greenville, we just had it tested with Jinx and Affliction. We came to the conclusion you need to be careful on the survivor side because a few great downs chained together and then this huge map doesn't even help you. Cheese with the very first injury less than 60 seconds into the trial, really not the early game you're looking for when you're playing against the Oni. Last year potentially looking forward to show us a very sexy performance potentially afterwards, landing on the platform. Oni fans with his killer. Let's see if he's able to do that. Cheese on the run here, holding W away from the killer, making sure that the distance is being taken. Killer switching over to even take care of the generator. Here we have the power available, so now it's really scouting towards that survivor in a bad position to then take over the potential down there. Zach, so far good early game for both sides, I would say, but the fact that we already have the power this early into the trial is probably going to be a nice feeling for last year.
Yeah, I think so. It's sort of similar to how I saw the last trial kind of start holding onto the power, getting eruption information on the survivors. And now he pops it and has found, I believe that was Ultra, couldn't quite see from the distance. With the power, first chase going to come through. Would be ideal if he could get this down quick, which it looks like it. Never mind, it doesn't come through quick because he gets caught on the wall. That is a bit unlucky. Going to continue chase around this tower, going to hold it tight, hoping that the Oni cannot flick around it. And it seems like Ultra's pathing is somewhat confused him. Yeah, he pathed away. Never mind, that was quite smart. And oh, good patience there on that pallet from Ultra. Not able to concede that down, and yeah, isn't able to actually isn't able to crouch that corner. Lastvin knows what he's trying, but that was a chase for the entire duration of the Oni power, and we have a reset onto Cheese, so I'm not sure there's too much power left on the map. We'll have to see, but I mean, what a chase from Ultra.
Ultra here now after taking this unfortunate hook stage, now being the subject of discussion. Once again, we've seen it in the previous trial as well. Difficult for the survivors. Are we sticking to the generators first? Are we trying to get some pressure back onto the killer? Or are we going for an instant rescue? But here Last Fear really making it an easy decision. Because when you as killer basically taking your backpack and walking 5,000 miles away from the hooked survivor, then you do not need to be surprised if the survivor team is punishing that. Even more surprising though that we still find Ultra over here very easily. There's going to be the first generator now coming out in the distance. Fun fact about the trial, first Maria and Bill being played in the winter circuit. 28 unique survivor characters so far. Second generator coming out here, and we're playing this double filler palette here. Can be a strong trial, especially for the experienced survivors trying to get the down. We can tell that Last Fear is realizing that this chase with Ultra is taking a little bit too long, especially when we are talking about the favorite plan of the killer, and that is eliminating one survivor as quick as possible. It's taking way too long for that. The other survivors, we see it very wonderfully on the left side on 3 individual generators. Cheese is now being chased off, so our killer even needs to change the strategy now, can no longer enforce the tunnel out, instead basically bending to the will of the survivors. And Zach, that is really the worst thing that can happen when the killer can no longer decide what's happening in the trial, and Cheese is absolutely choosing.
Yeah, 2 really good back-to-back chases. Unfortunately, he got caught on the rock, but the live coming to play. And unfortunately, not able to quarter tech that. So she's going to take their first down of the game. It looks like we have quite a lot of progression in that main building. It looks like there's another one being worked on in the map. But what I'm interested to see is which gens are going to pop and which ones are being worked on, and what the situation is going to be when we have one gen remaining. We saw a very tight concentration of gens in the last game, which led to the 4K at one generator. So I'm wondering if we see like the same story planning out, even though the chases took quite long. We do have this mid-map hook, which is quite I'd probably say good positioning for the killer. There was that one at statue. Oh, okay, so it's two on this side of the map, so not the worst situation. You do have that one over in Narnia at the top of the map, like you say, putting on the backpack, hiking 5,000 miles, trying to get to these other gens. Looks like they're trying to set up for save, playing a bit slower. And Jesus is going to sit on the hook, waiting very patiently. Does have power, so as you can see, pops it there. Unhook's going to come through. And it looks like he's going to be opting to check the gens up at the top side of the map. Oh, never mind. He sees Abby rotating across. And it's going to immediately pick up. It still has 2 stacks of pain res. And I feel like in terms of for last fit, the game's sort of paced up a little bit, so can be a bit more comfortable about that. Spots the reset as well, so knows where 2 survivors are, as well as hooking that third. But remains to be seen. Is pretty close to getting power, but no other injuries on the map, so still a bit far away. Sees the trade coming in, and that's going to result in the power being gained. 2 injuries on the board, and we'll see what Last Vic can do with this power dire.
Yeah, it's almost like feeling like the last chance, we could say, right? Either this power is going to down quite a few survivors. That's a very nice start right here onto Cheese. We have the scratch marks around as well, but we need a little bit more in order to bring this back here for Team Loyalty, because so far that doesn't look like a confident Oni performance at all. Nice attempt here onto Ducky. Too greedy on the pallet there. Really wanted to get this done, and then getting punished here, getting demolished through the pallet, we could even say. Ducky, very unfortunate. Now 2 survivors down onto the floor. One is going to take the hook stage. Abby and Ultra need to rotate now, getting Cheese up onto the feet. Both of them injured though, so they cannot really take the greatest responsibility, and they cannot really take the greatest risk in the trial. Ultra going down. Yeah, is Misery falling apart? Ladies and gentlemen, is it a misery that is going to unfold here, or is it going to be the team captain of Misery, Abby, taking the responsibility and bringing it back? The answer is no. That's a 4K literally out of nowhere, Zach. Sorry for the wording, but that was thrown out of the window.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like
running to the window, like it's
yeah.
Sorry, it's like taking your PC after the trial and you are running to your window and say, "Take this."
Yeah, a bit of a disaster unfolding for Misery survivors. But as soon as that hook came through and the reset was spotted, I feel like it was a bit of a greedy place to reset. But I think maybe they weren't expecting the down to come through so fast, and ultimately, Last Vic capitalized on that. So, gonna be a 4K one secured for Loyalty, which I honestly think they can be quite happy about. Exact same result we saw last game in the Jinx Affliction trial, and goes to show you how volatile these trials can be. But a shaky start. I think Last Vic did really well to come back into that, and didn't have too much to work with to start with. But once he started getting injuries on the board and started to get sort of hooks deeper into the map where you can't really do it for free, he sort of punished the unhooks quite a lot, which is what really led him into that later stage in the game. But I think really well played, and we can be very excited to see what Misery are going to do to answer that in the return fixture after a very quick short break. Welcome back, everyone. We have Ultra on Killer for Oni. Team Misery playing Killer now into our Loyalty survivors. Last Sphere just ended the game with an impressive 4K1 result and caused a lot of misery. I am learning from my co-caster Dara and all of these jokes and understanding where the thought process comes from. So later down the line, I imagine I'm going to be making a lot more. But Ultra here, trying to find his first chase, has found it onto Ray of Team Loyalty. And a nice early hit coming in the first, I would say, 30 seconds, 40 seconds of the trial. About as early as the first hit came in last time. So pretty good comparison in terms of pace. We saw a slow start to last early game, so I'm sure Ultra is going to be wanting to get off to a good early start here to secure a bit of a down. Has this pilot here, and no brutal strength in play compared to last time. We do see Wretched Fate in play, so that's going to be like a little pentamento for the Obsession, which is going to be on last Sphere. So Chase going to be around. Actually, pauses there for the fake, but is Ray going to make it anywhere? No. Going to stop running after realizing nowhere to go. So it's going to be a nice early down, I would say, for Team Misery. That's going to be 115, which is, I mean, I'm pretty sure half of what the average is. We usually see about 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 for our first down, first hook. So off to a flying start for Team Misery.
Yeah, this is now going to be the big question here. Who is going to benefit more from the current situation? Is it going to be the Killer now using the power to immediately take down the next survivor? Or is it going to be the survivor team taking this as a learning session, pulling back a little bit, making sure that it's not going to be the obvious chases, a little bit more careful on the generators as well, pulling away a little bit earlier. Shower here, finishing the first generator into the trial. Sparky has 50% generator done over there, and Ray is now going to be in a very important chase, has the responsibility to delay the elimination as long as possible, has to make sure to stay alive for the team, to keep the 4 survivors together, and unfortunately a bit too greedy here in reaching the pallet. They were also trying to set up the pallet safe, which didn't really come through. Unfortunately, Loyalty there with a nice idea, I feel like, on the paper and in the VC, a nice discussion, something that they could have set up here for a comeback, but it didn't work out when they were trying to execute it. So we can only take the first generator so far as a positive sign. And Zach, that is worrying now, because 50 seconds away from the first elimination, Ultra with the clear chance to get that survivor out of the way, with the Mori that is allowed even in the winter circuit. So Loyalty needs an idea here.
Yeah, unfortunately that unhook came through and Ray was caught in the same area. Not very safe, to be honest. There's not much to work with. But then even going down so quickly as well after that, it's going to set the team behind in terms of what they're able to do on these gens. Still got 4 left, and I believe I heard the second hook triggering pain res. So even more reversal of that progress. We're going to see a unhook going to come through. Takes the BT here and gets the down onto last Sphere. That's just what you want when you are having those interactions. Shaq pallet going to be dropped, and Ray's going to be taking chase around Shaq. Can still hear him stepping around. And is he going to be able to catch Ray? Looks like he has this window. 1 gen does pop. And it is going to be Ray going down. So that is a very fast elimination. But 2 gens pop in the meantime. Last Sphere is still on the floor, however. But yeah, the progression that we thought Loyalty had was a lot more than I expected. But yeah, 2 gens popping. That's going to be the first elimination of the match. Remember, the win condition for Loyalty is to complete all of their generators. So actually hearing this gen here with high progress, I think Loyalty have done really well to get this progress on the map. Actually, I was not expecting this much. That statue gen ahead looks about 50. But yeah, 2 injuries on the board, 3 survivors remaining, and 2 gens to do.
And this is going to be a very huge task for Ultra now. He basically needs to get all the survivors right here, right now. One more generator being completed would be the tie condition, which would force us into set number 2. We would progress through the best of 3 here with no one taking the first set point. So our survivors of loyalty really want to make sure that they're getting 2 generators out of the way in order to get the first advantage, and a chase like this can potentially lead into being successful with that. Charles here, even though since they are not using the approved Direwolf Kate outfit, doing a good job, it is a good result. Not entirely sure what we tried there, if that was supposed to be the jump in the locker and then we waited a little bit too long. Nonetheless, the power is now going to run out and Ultra is taking the hook stage for himself, wants to get the pain res stack a little bit here, wants to make sure that he's getting a little bit further progressed with these survivors. One more gen, as said, would be the tie. 2 more gens and loyalty is taking the first set point, which is certainly unexpected. The community voted with pretty much 90% against loyalty here, so this would be an upset in set number 1.
Yeah, loyalty have been putting in some really good survivor performances so far this winter circuit. One thing I want to note is that Ray is dead and Last Sphere is still Last Sphere is the obsession, so he's still getting that wretched fate value. So a little bit of luck there in terms of the perk, but also a good decision there to tunnel out the Claudette. Unhook going to come through. These Unhook seems to be going through quite fast. Has this double pallet set up here. Is just going to decide to walk around it. Is that going to be a hit? No, it isn't. Just missing out on that. Is going to be forced to break that and decides not to chase onto Last Sphere. Once that survivor being slowed down elsewhere. But also a bit worried about these generators. If Ultra can 4K at 2, will secure a win for Misery in this first set. Does find Sparky on the edge of the map. Is going to continue chase, but does have this pallet. Is going to greed that pretty nicely. Is he going to be able to mind game it nicely? I don't know if he makes that. Oh, it doesn't. It's just so close. Sparky going to avoid the M1 there. About a third of the way. But Bloodlust will kick in and there will be an injury secured. And yeah, chasing next to this progress gen would be probably not the greatest idea. So understandably, Sparky is pathing away. He does opt to take the eruption proc on that gen, and it looks like they are progressing Shaq as well. So Sparky gonna play it safe. Does look like he has power. Yeah. So the reset came through in Shaq as well, and then they jumped on the gen. But unfortunately, that has given Ultra his power. So we'll see how well he can transition this into a few downs. We saw once 4 generators had been completed last game, 1 power was all it took to win the game for Last Sphere. So maybe if we see a similar situation here, has eruption applied on that far gen, and Shaw's going to go down, and we still have an injury on Sparky, so still doable. They do have that Shaq one pretty progressed though.
Yeah, and I can only hope that the survivors are doing something with the great potential that they showed in the mid game here, and especially with the fact that their killer in the previous trial absolutely turned around the cards into a 4K. Imagine the killer of your team is handling a 4K with the generator remaining after things are looking horrible. Then you are having a good few attempts in your mid game, and at the end you are still getting 4K'd on 4K2 and not going to make it. That would be so unfortunate for loyalty here that I don't even want to imagine how you are afterwards basically trying to manage your mindset. So I really hope that they are getting themselves together, that they are getting the necessary pressure in here. But unfortunately, it really does not seem that these survivors are able to have the pressure onto the objectives. Shawel here is responsible now to get Sparky off the floor. Last Sphere has been located next to the shack. I'm pretty sure Ultra has seen him So he's now rotating and taking over for the rescue. A lot of hide and seek, a lot of stealth coming out here on the Oni set. Whenever the Survivor team losing a character, of course, it is getting a little bit more rough, and it comes down to a little bit of a standstill during the trial. But it's unfortunate, really, that Loyalty is struggling so significantly under the pressure of Ultra. A quick down onto Sparky here. Is Ultra opting to go for the slug? He is indeed, because he does locate Ace, who is just right next to the down Survivor last fear here. Unfortunately, also not able to hide much longer, and that should be the down. Ultra, you need to make sure that you're getting this Survivor, not that Shovel is rotating to another generator and turning this into a tie. Ultra losing the power here, which is costing more time.
That's so close.
We're going towards the shack, and the Survivor was indeed over here. And that's actually going to be the 4K, and that's actually going to be Team Misery staying the winner here. Zach, I must say, it doesn't feel the most deserved based on how horrible their Survivor game ended. And it feels even more horrible for Loyalty that they weren't able to make this happen here.
Yeah, it's gonna feel really bad, and I do wonder about their mindset going into the next game. Misery's team sort of crumbled under pressure, and the on that on that one generator remaining, and it all just, like we said, it happened out of nowhere. And for them to come into this and secure a 4K2, it's gotta feel really rough for Loyalty. And like you said, especially for Last Fear, who had a really bad start to his game and managed to turn it around. And 4K1 is a respectable result as well. So I think what's going to be important is for them to not think too deep into it and try and just execute the strategy for the next game. And am I right in thinking this was Loyalty's pick? You might have to remind me. We saw Last Fear play first, right? So that is going to be Misery winning on Loyalty's pick as well, so that's just even worse, right?
Yeah, Last Fear has a great loyalty towards the Oni, and now the result is turning out to be a Misery. There are no Sparky in the eyes of the players anymore. No Sparky of hope. Nothing. It's all gone. Yeah, very unfortunate, because this is the most horrible thing that can happen, right? You're losing your set, and now you're one set away from dropping from the winter circuit, and Misery is playing their set in order to stay in the tournament. Like, it cannot go worse than that.
Yeah, and we do have Dark Lord next as the pick on Father Campus Chapel, I believe. So Dark Lord, another killer who's relatively new to comp. We've had a unusual map this time, and whilst we've seen quite a few Dark Lord games so far, as far as I guess killers, I do wonder how much practice has been had. I don't think I've seen Dracula too much on Chapel. To be honest, I'm not too sure. Maybe we can get some confirmation on stats on where often we see Dracula. But yeah, Misery gonna have a game plan, I guess, for their Dark Lord sets, and Loyalty are just gonna have to shake this off and just recoup themselves. I think. I think a nice killer performance for them would be very good, but they are going to be going into the Survivor side straight after this, and it can't feel too good. I'm not too sure. But just waiting for the hook timers to tick down. And so what do we think about this map particularly then for what we've seen so far? It feels like our games have been going relatively slow, and then all of a sudden we just see teams collapse in the space of not even like 2 minutes. It's been kind of crazy. To be honest, and I think that we kind of owe that to the map and what it allows for Oni to do, at least.
Yeah, so this is the big thing, right? I feel like the size of this map really allows the Survivor to feel safe when they are trying to go into this slow approach. But then they are very much underestimating that they are still dealing with a killer machine that can from 0 to 100 go into mobility, that can really instant strike. And then when you are laying in the wrong position, like all the way up there, yeah, then it's going to be very hard to recover from that. And I feel like this map is feeling like more safe to the survivors than it actually is because of the size, and also because of a lot of filler pallets where you might overestimate their strength, and then you are very surprised, oh, they only took down a few pallets and now it's just a park here, and now we are running in the open and we are very easy prey to hunt down. So I think the map doesn't really work as the survivors would love the map to work for them.
Yeah, and I think that whilst it is a long map, you have, I want to say the main sort of arena of the map is in that central part. And how far you can take chases either side, I guess would be more advantageous if you're trying to get the sort of gens out the way. We've seen like the gen efficiency has been crazy, but then when we get down to 1 or 2 gens, it all falls apart. And I think we only saw one set so far today on that map where all gens were done and we saw some outs. But yeah, like it seems very easy to back yourself into a corner on a map like that. Like you said, maybe not as safe. But for Dark Lord, I just got confirmation in the background. We've seen Chapel as a map for Dark Lord once. And Family Residence 2 as well. So not played too much so far this winter circuit. So it might be interesting to see, a bit more variety in that killer, especially because it's I really enjoy Dark Lord sets because the sort of use of the different modes, the different powers, the killer design, it's really enjoyable to watch. So we might be seeing a bit of a different game unfold before us this time round.
Yeah, so far it seems like the Father Campbell's is only really the hype for the Plague. A lot of our Plague sets, especially during the qualifiers, have happened on Father Campbell's. It seems like now we are switching a little bit towards Rotten Fields, but Dark Lord and Father Campbell's doesn't seem to be agreement by the players as much as the Plague and Father Campbell's are being put together. We are already loading into the next match, ladies and gentlemen. Ultra is taking the responsibility again against Last Fear, Shovel, Sparky, and Ray. And for Loyalty, this is basically the last chance on the survivor side now. If this trial is not going too great, they might need to prepare saying goodbye from the winter circuit. We are going in, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be the Dark Lord next. A very interesting killer. I remember when he joined the competitive roster, which was pretty instantly last year when he came out because it was so perfectly fitting to the All Hallows League. Xeno immediately getting the hands onto that killer and slanted left and right with Hellfire attacks and wolf dashes, and I don't know, in 48 hours he basically was ahead of the community and was a really dangerous threat to every team. Now that is looking a lot different because after seeing that hype for the Dark Lord triggered by these top players, a lot of teams started scrimming. Now the counterplay knowledge and the mechanical knowledge is a lot greater, but Dark Lord, very interesting sets, very dynamical, very quick also in the decision making and in the ups and the downs. So we are now going in Father Campbell's Chapel. Ultra on the Dark Lord, immediately playing a little bit of Batman Simulator here, trying to get onto the first survivor and into the first chase as quick as possible. Successful with that. Sparky already with the injury here, and that should be the Hellfire coming out. And Ultra not joking around, instant down. This is the dream start if you want to knock out your opponent.
Yeah, very, very fast down there. Checking Carnival as a first step is always good on this map because 9 times out of 10 someone will spawn in that area, and Ultra recognized that and did not let Sparky run away. Very efficiently using bat form into wolf form and then getting in hellfire charge, and there's already seeing 3 forms used in the space of 1 down. So again, mechanically, you know, it's I feel like this killer's evolved a lot in play styles. Of course, people will have a form that they find most comfortable using, and so it's really on the players getting used to that. But I feel like the real 4K potential comes from like efficient use of all 3 forms. We've seen Dracula sets go to like 2 or 3 stages, but we've also seen like some impressive 4Ks. And on a map like this, where you can get some seriously, Ray just petting the horse. And sorry, I lost my track of thought. A map like this where you have such strong RNG as well, sometimes that can spawn. How that's going to be played around too. Ray just trying to set up for the save, but Ultra, I think, smells, no pun intended, growling. See if he can intimidate the survivor out of hiding, but just actually find Ray, and the trade's going to come through. Not for free, but yep, Ultra's going to be beelining towards Sparky for this first elimination, going into wolf form as he chases around and holds on to that second dash, knowing that probably isn't going to reach it, but has this little pallet gym here. And yeah, nice zoning using the pounce attack there, and it's going to lead to Sparky going down. Goes back to Ray's slug, thinking there's going to be a pickup, and it looks like there is. Are they going to get it? That's a really nice read from Ultra. In the dying corner there, and yeah, I can't imagine there's much recovery on Sparky there, to be honest. But yeah, Ultra putting the pressure on the survivors there, I think is a relatively, good start for him.
Yeah, Ultra is smelling blood, and it seems like Loyalty forgot to take the garlic into the trial here. Ultra just looking for more, being unstoppable, trying to dash with the wolf here a little bit too late onto that. He needs to make sure now that he's not getting a little bit too greedy. We have seen killers like this being punished after a while, because then the survivor team was coming out to be much stronger than expected. He's a little bit in a difficult position here because he is expecting the pallet rescue, but unfortunately too late. Sparky is not going to face the help from the team members, is instead just going down here, and we're going back to the carnivals where we have seen the other survivors last, so potentially chaining the chases together. Sparky 70 seconds away from the elimination. Quick tunnel out will be available now. We have the Ebony Mori allowed in the winter circuit, so you cannot really go for pallet saves, flashlight saves, anything like this at the second after the second hook stage anymore. You need to pull all these team plays either instantly, or you have to give up the team member to the Mori that we are allowing here. Ray trying to leave early out of the area, not going into the next chase here. I feel like Loyalty has made a respectable recovery though. All of them are back to being healthy. So now setting back up for the rescue without too much of a chaos that is being put from the killer side. I feel like they're really playing good for themselves here.
Yeah, and it looks like Ultra wants to really lock down this area for the people going to come through onto Sparky. But yeah, this carnival area is notoriously easy to defend for killers. I know we spoke about plague sets before we came into the match, and we do typically see a lot of hooks when we go down here. We can hold down this chokehold like in front of me in building, so it makes it very, very hard to save. Thankfully, this time they were able to get the people off, but has led to Sparky getting Mori'd here. And yeah, like you say, no pallet saves allowed. You see Last Sphere run off. I'm like, oh, never mind, I forgot about that. As he walks off. So that's going to be a quick elimination, quick first elimination, and I do believe we still have 3 gens left. Ray working on this one, almost done. And one thing I should note as well is that For the People has switched the obsession over to Shoal. So Last Sphere can now enjoy gens at full speed. And Ray's going to take a tag. trying to get that blind there. We still have 2 injuries on the board. Ultra has relatively good idea of where the progression is on the map, and we still have 3 Scourge hooks, 3 pain reses left to slow the game down even further. Last, they're going to be lurking around in main building, and looks like Ultra is on his trail. And is he going to get the tag? No, but he does get the pallet, and that's going to be Smash here actually coming in. Nice little speed boost there, able to make it back around to main building. And looks like Ray's been found actually. Injured survivor. And it's going to be wolf form. And is he committing chase? It looks like he is, yes. I got a little confused there. But yeah, Ray going to take chase now. We see last fail on a gen, and that is that Eruption? Going off there. It does look like it was the case. But yeah, we can see the survivors sort of after that first death now. The pressure is a little bit back on. They got back on their feet quite nicely, but it looks like Ultra's managed to bring it back in terms of the killer side of things. So Lasso is going to take chase now, and I imagine Shoal is going up for that pickup, which does come through. But yeah, now we're onto a safe side of the map though, Dai, so could still buy some time for the team.
No, I mean, Ultra is impressing here with the patience very often. Just for example, after the vault of the window, he's not spamming the Hellfire immediately. He's holding it for 2 extra seconds, making sure that he really gets the hit and the injury onto the players. Really, really well done. Very nice dash with the wolf here as well, getting the injury now onto Shovel. All 3 survivors back to being injured. The entire reset that they were trying to set up throughout the trial is denied again. And that is now also going to be difficult decisions with Kate going down here. If you now go for the full reset, which is an understandable decision, but basically you're pulling entirely away from the generators, which is causing the ultimate reset and the ultimate regression onto the gens, letting Ultra know, I have all the generators under control. They are all back to 0 attack basically, and in the distance is already the next chase going on with the Claudette. She's trying to get the trees here as a usage against the wolf, and Ultra just slugging again with the pressure. He's really feeling it right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I guess one of the benefits of Dracula is that bat form, and this map isn't exactly starved of vaults. That's going to be a nice second wind coming in onto Shoal. Going to get the reset and delay this down as well. So nice little second chance perk. They're going to help him last longer. And got the lithe into main building. This is wasting so much time. I feel like Ultra doesn't want to commit too hard here, especially when you're slugging the pickup. Should be coming in anytime soon now. And misses that Hellfire. Shoal goes to the left. He aims to the right. Chase going to go on into Carnival. A lot of resources were used in this side of the map earlier, so not too sure if you have too much to work with. And dodging out on the pounce there. This is buying so much time for the team right now to potentially get resets in. And it looks like the pickup came through, but they haven't had a chance to heal yet. Shoal's going to be hooked now into Carnival. And yeah, Ultra is not really letting them get any sort of momentum. I mean, despite that really nice chase from Shoal, doesn't seem to have really resulted in anything for them.
Yeah, you need some sort of mystery, role model, comeback, legendary, I don't know, tutorial play here on the side of loyalty. And the sad story is they have been in a situation like this on the Oni set against Ultra, and that didn't really end great as well, as Ultra Oni was able to keep up the pressure and making sure that the survivors are getting a little bit too busy to smash out more generators. Unfortunate here on top of that it's the set that potentially decides if loyalty can stay in the tournament or not. They are showing good attempts here in theory. They are going into the corner. You can see that they are aware that the time pressure is needed. You can tell that they are trying to get every single second in to make it use on the generators they have to repair. So on a theory side, They are really trying great. They are having good ideas. They know what it takes. It's just that the time they are gaining is by far not enough to outweigh what Ultra is performing here.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like we're seeing strong killer performances make the difference in these sets. That's going to be Omori, and Ray is still on hook as well. So we are very, very close to looking at a 4K with 3 gens remaining here. Can't believe there's one pain res left, I believe, and we're just watching this animation as we'll see what the survivors are doing. And Ray decides to run off, no reset, wanting to, understanding that they don't have the time for that. And yeah, I feel like Dracula is also a killer who can kind of punish these situations, not able to really get the momentum back. Already after the Mori, he's into another chase, and it's even with slugging across the map, he's got this bat form that could just constantly bring him back. Lashfear gonna take a tag here from the wolf form, but has main building to work with a little bit, and it's just gonna use bat form to go elsewhere. See if Ray's working on that gen off in the distance. And yeah, this is the one that Ultra knows about. I really think that maybe you should try a different gen a little bit. Because Ultra knows that is the one that they're probably most likely to try and do. But with 2 survivors alive, both injured, there's really not much I think Loyalty can do in this situation. So I think we're looking at a very impressive 4K3. This might be the highest result I've seen on Dracula so far in DBDLeague at least.
Yeah. Yeah, this we will get shouted at from our tournament analyst Toby in a second if we are claiming something wrong here. But I think you are right. This is indeed the greatest result, at least what I remember. And I'm the archive grandpa of DBDL. Ray here doing a little bit of a flashlight celebration, trying to tell Ultra, come up. We're going to do a 1v1 leaderboard chase that we're gonna time afterwards on the ladder, but yeah, maybe you shouldn't click your flashlight if you are going down like this. We are here with the 4K3, as you mentioned, Zach. Horrible result for Loyalty. 1 trial away from being knocked out from the tournament. 3 generators for Misery will be enough. And if I'm Misery, I can tell you they are celebrating a barbecue in the VC right now.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to be happy about this. To know that your survivor team only needs to do 3 gens. Oh, look, Lashfear pointing Ultra over there. That's where you hook my teammate. And looks like maybe we see a 1v1. I don't know, actually. Yeah, looks like it. Oh, it starts, but no swing from Ultra. No ladder chase here. It's going to be full send through Shack. And yeah, I don't know. I felt like I also want to mention, sorry, the first down that we saw onto Sparky was the second fastest this tournament. So that's incredible. Really, really fast forward momentum, and he capitalized on it. I felt like from start to finish, he pressed the advantage and did not let them do anything. Had the eruption and the pain res. But also had the a Wretched Fate Dark Lord perk coming in clutch for the Dark Lord himself. And yeah, if your Loyalty's killer right now, I think you're probably going to feel a big weight on your shoulders.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Father Campbell Chapel with the Dark Lord. Lashfear this time on the killer against Cheese, Ducky, Wancy, and Ultra himself. Shout out to Wancy here, one of our DBDLeague artists, responsible for some of the renders of the killers and maps that you're seeing on the screen during the streams. Ducky taking the first injury here, and the win condition is very clear. 3 generators must be repaired for Team Misery here in order to take the 2-0 in this best of 3 and staying in the tournament. And I feel like, Zach, even though it's the Dark Lord and not the weakest killer, this is a win condition that you can really feel comfortable with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. we did confirm that is probably one of the best results we've seen on Dracula. So Last Fear has a mountain to climb in terms of trying to either secure a 4K4 or try a tie condition at 4K3. But Survivor's definitely going to feel comfortable after that really strong performance from Ultra. Gets a nice early down. That was a 49-second down compared to the 23 seconds we saw in the first game. So even if you think that 49 seconds is impressive, I guess Ultra's performance is nothing to shine at. But looks like Ducky has been found on the near for the progression of that first elimination and taking chase into this 4-lane here. Nice little greed there. Good pathing from Ducky to deny the Hellfire. And we'll have to see. Time is of the essence for Last Fear. He needs this elimination quickly if he wants any chance of trying to match this win condition. Gonna miss the swing at the window, and that is one gen gone. Getting closer and closer. This chase, you would probably think it's taking a bit too long, and really nice pathing from Ducky there, predicting he was going to the window, and yes, is gonna get that second stage secured onto Ducky. One gen completed, and can imagine the survivors are working on others. We see Wansi here starting on this one. Second stage for Ducky. Applying Eruption to that gen. Does have the agitation for faster movement if we're thinking about the precious seconds that Last Fear has to defend these gens. That gen sounds really close, yeah. About 90% on that one. And spots out Cheese here. Unfortunately, that Palestine's going to come through. And I feel like the time is ticking really for Last Fear here to get this pressure built on the survivors. That's 2 gens gone, and we have a third one really close. So Misery already really, really close to closing this one out there.
Yeah, this is not the situation you want to be in on the killer side. I don't even necessarily feel like that our killer made a lot of mistakes. It's just that the survivor side of Team Misery is too strong here. The elimination is coming out on an respectable quick amount of time, and that is now Misery with the 2-0 in this best of 3, knocking out Loyalty. We are saying goodbye to them. Thank you for playing in the winter circuit. Came from the qualifiers, made a good run there against Meadow, but now being put onto the ultimate test here against Misery, and Misery therefore moving on into the quarterfinals of the lower bracket and leaving Loyalty behind them. They are looking for more here. Zach, maybe talking about the strategy here a little bit. I feel like Last Fear is playing quite well when we are talking about a normal trial. If you would now have the elimination with 2 generators still needed, I feel like that is a result where you can say very easily any other day, this is a good result for me as a Dark Lord. I'm now playing 3v1 scenario with 2 gens remaining, so this is all kind of well. This strategy just doesn't work if the win condition is so high. I feel like we needed something more risky, more pressuring, more wild.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's arguing the fact that it's such a difficult win condition, right? But you just have to play the best you can. And Last Fear's, you know, he's a great killer player, and he's able to get these good results. And we've seen so many strong results today, I have to say. A lot of unexpected, really decisive results. And when you go into that next trial as killer, and you sort of have to hold yourself to that standard by trying to get the win for your team. But in actual fact, it's still a skillful sort of showcase, really. Like, I mean, the survivors' gen efficiency is also something to behold as well. Look, they're already down to 1 gen remaining, and it doesn't even feel like we're that far into the trial. I've not seen too many mistakes from Last Fear either. Ducky had a really good chase, so maybe the elimination was a bit too delayed. But yeah, I feel like we're not seeing too, maybe faltering on the survivor performance a little bit, but I feel like the killer performances today have been really solid.
Yeah, Missouri doesn't even stop here on loyalty. They are not only knocking them out by a few generators, it seems like they seem to want to set a tone here towards the other teams in the lower bracket. And also making sure that loyalty is noticing that there is quite some difference when we're talking about the peak performances here. It does really look like right now that Misery is opting to go for the escapes here. Nice Volt deck that came in to help, and then when realizing that the team member is going to reach the targeted resource, they're just turning away to not give out the injury too quickly. Very well played there. Now onto the chase here on the TNL. A little bit of Batman. Ultra is taking the injury here. All three of them are now injured. They need to be careful what they are doing next here. Otherwise, Last Fear might be able to turn this quickly into a 4K as well. Getting onto the generator, making sure that we have a little bit of a regression here. And back towards the main building, trying to find the potential reset location. Is successful with that, but not in time, unfortunately. Vancy back to fully healthy and can now take the sprint burst from getting injured to get some extra distance. And Last Fear didn't even have the time so far to prepare the main building. That's also crazy.
Yeah, the game's moving very, very fast. That reset, they reset very, very fast. And this window, by the way, is insane. This gold window here at main is going to be so hard to deal with. And it looks like the survivors have sort of noticed that, because I've seen about 5 or 6 vaults into that in the past like 3 or 4 minutes. And this is what I was saying about the RNG too. This main building has such potential to turn into something really good for the survivors. And so just add that on top of it already being such a difficult win condition. You have this map here that's just ultimately contributing to that to the advantage. But this gen getting very close. Last Fear smells the survivor here. It's going to be Wanty, going to take that tag at the window, and is going to commit chase over. Takes the bat form for more speed, and gonna take. I've never seen bat form be stunned before. I actually don't think I've ever seen that. It was a weird little interaction. And yeah, reading that really well and getting the down. And Tawatsi Eruption's going to come through onto that far gen, and Last Fear wants to slug right now because probably feeling that the progression is a bit too far for him to have enough time to get that hook. We see this gen edging gradually closer to that one that's close to that window over at main. Also very, very far, despite the eruption. And has found Ultra, who is going to be the survivor, working on that gen. A nice little hellfire over the window. Unfortunately, not enough distance for Ultra to avoid that. And once he's still left on the floor, and looks like Ultra's not going to be lasting too much longer. A nice little dodge out using the tree, actually. Has this pallet for safety. It's going to use that. It's not the safest, but also just buying a bit more time. The picket comes through onto Wanty in the distance, and Ultra's going to take a hook here. So Last Fear holding on to this last generator, putting a performance, considering the efficiency from Team Misery. I feel like the pressure's starting to sway a little bit. Again, just commentating on the killer performance, survivor performance in general, it is nice to see. But just finishing out this game, she's going to be zoned to the edge of the map. Doesn't have anything really to work with here except a big rock. A nice little main game actually there. Might make some distance to this pallet. Does have the Hellfire charged. And actually makes it to this pallet. Makes it to safety. So super well played there. Winning that 50 in the mind game. And we still see 2 survivors injured. And yeah, I feel like this game slowed down a lot for the survivors. And Last Fear is getting a lot more pressure than before. Wancy taking chase, as I believe we have lost Dire 07 to Direwolf. I'm not sure where he left.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Never mind.
I actually forgot that I had to mute after a coughing attack here in my sickness while throwing tablets and juices and creams into me like never before, and I was yapping here for myself. Sorry for that. Second stage on Duancy. Was about to say, like, he built up so much pressure and such a good comeback on the killer side, and then unfortunately Vancy really doing a great job and taking all of that away. But that's happening when you are a DBDLeague artist. Then you are an absolute giga chat in game as well. Ultra here not taking the down as well, so that should actually guarantee that we're seeing 2 survivors walking out of the door here. Ultra might try make it back towards the shack, but it's not going to be enough time to go for the hatch here. So we say congratulations to Team Misery for taking 2 outs out of the door here and staying in the tournament, and we're saying goodbye to Team Loyalty. And then very clearly man of the match. All of these survivors here, all of these killers, they all deserve everything, but the man of the day is Zach, not only for carrying 4 games in a row, but also carrying me through these trials here. You might hear it, I'm still very sick. I'm coughing every time I finish my talking. I'm coughing my lungs out here. I'm throwing tablets, pills into me and trying to somehow survive this. Zach had to take a lot of majority parts here to carry me home, and has done that very fantastically. Thank you, Zach. It was still a lot of fun. I hope it was fun for you as well to be the casting nurse, we could say, or the casting doctor. But thank you for being here today and being the hero of the day.